Hello everyone, it's me, JuanGamer54, back in the video today, we're back. We're continuing off with the retro review, and we're going to continue off with Five Nights at Freddy's 4. This game right here that basically changed the landscapes forever. Or I guess maybe sister location as well, but you get what I mean, But ladies and gentlemen, sit back and watch, as we're going to go through with this. So yeah. I figure, why not? No more dilly-dally. Let's do this.
There's gotta be a code to open this. Bite of 87. Your text? I must be close. Incident of 83. One movie. 11 animatronics. 11 kids. One phone guy. One killer. Hex code for purple.
Backwards.
Is that Markiplier?
Markiplier?
Yes, Mad Bat. It was me. It was me the whole time. And that's no theory.
Markiplier! How could you? It was crazy. It was crazy, just Markiplier popping out of nowhere. Dun 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 dun.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to the Five Nights at Freddy's podcast.
Podcast?
Sorry, I mean Game Theory.
Game Theory.
The show that covers theories on other games in the 2-week intervals between new installments of FNAF. But if I'm ever gonna...
Yeah, I feel like that FNAF podcast might be coming my way, to be honest. Or rather, the Game Theory podcast. Because it just seems like every single time it's always FNAF, but hey, we're coming here now.
See requests for games other than FNAF 4 in my Twitter feed, this video needed to be made.
Nah, don't disrespect yourself, Colossus.
I made a mistake in my last FNAF video. Not my research, mind you. My conclusion that this kid scientifically could not be the Bite of 87 victim was actually 100% right, both scientifically and, as you've been eager to point out, lore-wise. No, I was wrong in calling this the Bite of 87.
Oh, yeah.
I'm man enough to admit my mistakes. Hey, it's why they're called theories after all, right? Anyway,
yeah.
In this case, Scott was sure to let me know my error in his first comment on any of my videos on the franchise, to my knowledge, which was really exciting, but it did leave me wondering, should I feel honored or trolled? And let me just say, because you were asking, I didn't delete that comment. I only delete comments from game theorist bots. No, I don't want your free PSN codes, okay? So I guess Scott must have deleted it himself. Maybe there was a typo. Or maybe a clue to FNAF 5.
Ah, man, FNAF 5 is coming. And we all knew it was.
Before we get that far ahead, let's close the book on FNAF 4. First, let's set the record straight on where it takes place. It does not take place in Fredbear Family Diner, but rather the first location of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The one from the old phone guy tapes found in FNAF 3. But the Springlock yellow suits are the only ones there, I hear you typing. You're right, they obviously are, but remember, Phone Guy's tapes in FNAF 3 welcome you to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, not Fredbear Diner, before he tells you about their, quote, specially designed suits. Roll that cassette tape.
Alright.
Your new career as a performer/entertainer for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Right now we have 2 specially designed suits that double as both animatronic and suit.
Specially designed, i.e. not in existence during the Fredbear era. Plus, in that same set of phone calls, Phone Guy tells us the suits have become decommissioned after an incident where there were, quote, multiple simultaneous Springlock failures. What do we see at the end of FNAF 4? An incident where multiple Springlocks fail simultaneously and a child dies. And let me be clear, because the terminology is pretty confusing. In the game, the word Springlock is used to describe both the suit as a whole and the individual locking mechanisms within that suit. A Springlock suit is made up of multiple Springlocks. To have multiple simultaneous Springlock failures, like Phone Guy says, would either mean multiple suits going down at the same time, which is a bit coincidental and hard to believe,
Yeah.
or that multiple locks within the same suit collapse at the same time,
Dang.
causing a catastrophic failure. Say, for instance, because a child is squirming to escape and his tears are moistening the locks. Crunch. And besides, don't you think it'd be weird for
R.I.P.
Fredbear's Diner to use these suits, have them kill a child, sell the company, and then Freddy Fazbear's Pizza starts using them again? It just wouldn't make a lot of sense.
Well, we kind of saw how Fazbear Entertainment continues to keep going on despite how many bad rap they get. So honestly, I wouldn't really put it against them. But hey, we're here in the future. We didn't know in the past, but I digress.
Long story long, although Fredbear and Springtrap are the featured attractions at this restaurant, this is a Freddy Fazbear branded joint. One dating back to, as we see on the TV set, 1983. But enough about the timeline. I don't want to dwell on it in this episode. To me, having a general placement of the timeline is enough because the most interesting part of this game is the ending and its overall meaning. Like I said in the other FNAF 4 video, if this was just a random kid who got bit, that would be really lame. So how does this particular kid fit into the overall lore? Why is this incident of 1983 so important to show? Who is the FNAF 4 kid, and what does the ending line of "I will put you back together" mean? Well, let me tell ya, the evidence points to him being the puppets. Let's look at the evidence.
Ooh, boy. Ah, yes. When Crying Child was the puppet. I mean, let's be honest. Back in the day, it was just like, hey man, like, we just saw the Crying Child. That's it. I mean, Crying Child right there. But I mean, like, let's be honest. There was more than one Crying Child. I mean, if we were faced with William Afton in real life, oh yeah, we screwed. But let's continue.
First, many have pointed out the streaming tears down the kid's face, which mimic the tears down the puppet's mask. Okay, sure, that was good evidence when we first saw them in FNAF 2, but at this point, those nice pixelated streams are on nearly every chubby-cheeked kid who's ever entered these restaurants. So alone, it's not much to go on. But we can take it one step further. While the tears themselves might not be interesting, look at this. It's a screen from the Mangle minigame back in FNAF 3. This weird, crying, giant silhouette was just kinda out of place in the last game. And all us FNAF theorists just kinda glossed over it in our analyses, since, seriously, what is it? I mean, it kinda looks like the puppet, right? With its overall fabric feel and its thin striped legs. I mean, that's what I thought at the time, but again, there was really no reason to bring it up since it just didn't fit anywhere. But now we have a new game and new information that might make this make sense. Look at its body position. Notice anything specific about it? It resembles a position we see our FNAF 4 kid in a lot throughout the game, including
many times,
his final
yes.
scene, kneeling down, 2 streaming tear tracks, and his face turned 2/3 toward the camera. Do you see the connection here? But not only that, look at what our kid wears. A black and gray striped shirt. And remember, this is in a world where all the other kids are generally wearing single color outfits. It's an oddly specific detail. Now I ask you, what's the signature look for the puppet? None other than black and white stripes. But besides those design details, consider that there's no sign of the puppet anywhere in this game, and yet practically every other animatronic.
I'm sorry, but I know this was before the Halloween update in which we see Nightmare on, but I'm sorry. Alright. Oh, back in the day, I know everyone was struggling with the FNAF timeline. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy.
Present in some form, meaning that this game likely exists at a time when the puppet has yet to be created. Remember when he just kind of showed up in FNAF 2? Which I should remind you takes place 4 years later than this game. He just kind of came out of nowhere. Well, this could be the puppet's origin story. This idea of kid as puppet also works really well with the locked box at the end. What's in there besides Markiplier's stunning face and buttery voice? Puppet. As we see in FNAF 2, he has a habit of coming out of boxes, and he's the only one who can bend and fold up into a space that small. But there's
True.
even more evidence when you look at the timeline. Now, I challenge you to ask yourself one question. What exactly is the child afraid of in this game? Why does he hate this restaurant so much? The easy answer would seem to be the animatronics. Let that be wrong. It's important to note that at the time of the cutscene minigames, he's not scared of Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. When you walk over the pile of plushies in the corner, we see that he considers these characters as his friends. Foxy is kinda in that camp too, but to a slightly lesser degree because his brother has started scaring him with the Foxy mask, hence the head being pulled off. Even the weird psychic friend Fredbear isn't a scary presence for him. So clearly he's not scared of the characters. Is he scared of the people working at the restaurant? The
Maybe.
purple guy? Maybe, but that's not quite the full answer either. Again, watch how he behaves. When trying to escape the worker in the Fredbear outfit, he can't muster the courage to run past the show stage with the yellow suits. He collapses in fear. And when the bullies drag him over to the stage, he's freaking out. Clearly, what he is specifically afraid of in this restaurant
Is the spring
yellow
locks.
Springtrap suits, whether in animatronic mode or suit mode, which begs one question. Why? Well, the answer lies in psychic friend Fredbear. Look at the dialogue running through the kid's head. Hurry the other way and find someone who will help. You know what happens if he catches you. That line would be easy to write off as this just being a scared kid who believes the ghost stories he's heard from the dead-eyed girl he talks to on the way home. She's creepy. If it wasn't for one thing, this other line. No. Don't you remember what you saw? This kid actually saw something. A crime. Something terrible in these restaurants. It would seem to imply that he saw another child get shoved into one of these suits. This would also explain the strange brown pixels sticking out of the yellow body backstage. A tuft of hair, perhaps? All of these details also fit with the character I've been lovingly calling Psychic Friend Fredbear. He's here,
He's there, he's everywhere. Who you gonna call? Psychic friend Fredbear. That's a jingle right there.
Seriously, what is
I'll
this
watch
thing?
that show.
Sometimes he's a bear, sometimes he's referencing it, and sometimes he's a flower?
He's flowy.
Okay. At first, it seemed like the creepy little toy was nothing but an imaginary friend. That was until the final moments, after the bite, when we see the bear's signature yellow text. But this time, instead of parroting back the kid's feelings like he usually does, he shows that he is clearly in possession of a mind of his own, saying all kinds of creepy things like, "You're broken. We're still your friends. Don't you believe that? And I'm still here. I will put you back together." This isn't just a split personality of the kid or anything. This is a separate entity. This is a spirit. This is someone who knows the danger of getting caught by the people wearing those suits. This is the victim that our FNAF 4 kids saw getting stuffed. This is Golden Freddy, Purple Guy's first victim. And I know you're rushing into the comments now to say that this changes a lot of things and goes against stuff we've been saying for a while. But don't worry, we'll address it. Just get
Well, look, I know, we already get it. I mean, I know some of you were like, "Ooh, boy, how he was wrong back in the day." Sorry about that, I had a call. Let's continue.
excited. We've pinpointed the identities of our two most mysterious animatronics.
Uh-huh.
This is an awesome revelation from an evidence standpoint, but to be honest, it's a little disappointing from a storytelling standpoint.
What?
Here's why. We humans all have a proven psychological need to complete things. This need is called, unimaginatively, the completion principle. We want to fill in the blanks in the stuff around us so that the world makes sense and we feel in control. It's the biggest psychological reason why you want to beat a game, or even just an individual level. You know how you just can't stop and save in the middle of a level? You have to play until it's done. This is the reason why. Weirdly enough, it's even the reason why it's so hard to leave just one slice of cake outside of sheer deliciousness, or leave out the last two pieces of a puzzle. I mean, even just looking at it on the screen, Earl, just put the piece in. Just finish the last two just animate the pieces to move over into the open slots. I beg you. Just finish the last... Thank you. This isn't just you being OMG, I'm so OCD. It's actually because the brain is wired to respond to knowing when you're done with a task. The brain can now take the mental energy it was using to focus on that activity and
to focus on the next.
Something else. But What happens if you don't finish that piece of cake? Or if you walk away from a game right before beating the level? Your brain can't put that activity away because it's still not finished. You literally continue to spend
Job's
mental
not
energy
finished.
on it in the background, even when you're doing other things. As long as there are unknowns, your brain can't feel in total control and can't let things go. And whether he knew this when creating the first FNAF game or not, Scott Cawthon has done an amazing and infuriating job of creating a story that looks like it goes one way, but also looks like it might go somewhere else.
The other
This
way.
keeps us thinking about FNAF lore, talking about FNAF lore, pestering our favorite YouTube theorists for more FNAF lore for weeks,
Crunch.
months.
Crunch.
Watching every video
Crunch.
released on everything from top 10 details you missed in the FNAF 4 teaser to top 10 facts about the cupcake.
The cupcake.
10 facts about the cupcake. Seriously.
Yes,
Once
seriously.
we're into the lore, our brains literally cannot let the pieces go until there's some kind of resolution, a completed story. But Scott has done such a good job of keeping the game in flux that the pieces never quite feel like they fit in a way that feels satisfying. We never get that moment of ROLAIDS. That spells relief. So we want the pieces of the puzzle to fit together cleanly, and the problem with FNAF is that, well, there's plenty of evidence for the story to go one way, there's also evidence for it going somewhere else. Try this one on for size.
Alright.
There's a lot of evidence for the kid in FNAF 4 being the puppet, and I bet my bottom dollar that that's the solution that Scott intended.
Nope.
From a storytelling standpoint, more pieces actually fit together if the FNAF 4 kid becomes Golden Freddy and not the puppet. This would...
Well, I mean, you half right in the fact. You half right. You almost got it. It's just that we forgot one admission that Crying Child was kind of sharing Golden Freddy in the past. You kind of forgot to mention that, you know, we got some hitchhikers in Golden Freddy, as in there is more than just one spirit. So I mean, you were spot on with You was spot on with Crying Child being Golden Freddy. You just forgot to mention that he wasn't the only one being Golden Freddy.
Take our first victim, the one our FNAF 4 kid sees get killed, the puppet, like we've been hypothesizing since FNAF 2. Suddenly, you have a group of 5 kids celebrating a birthday, one kid associated with each animatronic, with the one representing Golden Freddy being the odd man out. And this scenario perfectly mimics the FNAF 3 good ending with the Happiest Day minigame, where 5 souls from 5 kids, each representing a different animatronic, reunite to celebrate a birthday that never really happened. It actually creates a beautifully bookended story of redemption and forgiveness, a reunion of brothers. And yeah, I know the complaints. Don't get me started about the size of the kids being different. They're the spirits of dead children in an 8-bit minigame, okay? Literalizing the sizes seems to be a bit of a stretch. And it goes even further than that. In the FNAF 2 Give Gifts minigame, the puppet gives life to the dead children, with Golden Freddy as the odd man out who doesn't get a mask and does a ghostly jump scare at the end. That would reflect the 4 bullies getting killed in the pizzeria by Purple Guy in response to this incident, while the one, Golden Freddy, dies somewhere else, like a hospital bed. I mean, we do see the IV and pills and flowers, and as a result, that's why the puppet, the first victim, is able to reach those 4 kids' souls and save them, while Golden Freddy has to behave like a ghost. It also gels with the idea that the Take Cake minigame represents the first victim at the first location, and why the puppet is always the jump scare, because he's the kid we've just watched get killed. So a lot of storytelling pieces fit together, but at the end of the day, that leaves us with too many questions about why Golden Freddy is talking to our FNAF 4 kid. A spirit needs to be inhabiting that bear for the story to make sense. And Scott certainly put in plenty of evidence that leads us to believe that the FNAF 4 kid is the puppet. The FNAF 4 kid needs to have seen a tragic, scary incident to make him fear the restaurant, which means he can't have been the first kid to have been killed. In short, the challenge here is that you have a choice. There's more evidence for our FNAF 4 kid becoming the puppet. But the resulting story is more satisfying for him to become Golden Freddy. And either side leaves you wanting more, because not all the evidence works in either scenario. And that is the true secret to FNAF. The completion principle demands demands that we get answers, that the scraps of evidence across the 4 games come together cleanly. But
Yep.
if and when they do, our brains will just be able to move on and forget about it, making it just another game that we played and is collecting dust on our shelf, or taking up memory space in our Steam account, I guess. In the meantime, good on Scott for making sure FNAF is always on our minds. He
It
didn't
still
start by
is to
giving
this
us
point.
endless levels or a whole bunch of stuff to complete. He did
Dang,
by making
Luigi.
Sure the pieces that are there are never quite enough. So GG, Scott. GG. And GG to all of you too, theorists. All of us. For trying to complete the story and solve the mysteries. I may complain about it, but honestly, I've been having a blast. It's like the Gravity Falls of video games. It's
True.
been my honor to work with all of you on this quest over the last year, and I look forward to trying to continue the quest in the year to come. In fact, since this has been a video many of you have been waiting for a long time, now that it's finally out, this Thursday at 4 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, I'll be live streaming right here on the Game Theorist channel, answering all the remaining questions you have about the FNAF franchise. Touching
Really?
on things I didn't get to cover in this episode, like the presence of Mangle in FNAF 4, while also looking at some of the theories that you've been submitting to me over the last year. So if you have a question you want answered, or if
Ooh. I forgot that MatPat did that hour-long video, to be honest. I forgot about all that. And I did say that we're doing FNAF. Honestly, what do you guys think? Do you think I should do that? Like, make some sort of live video where we basically react to the live stream? Which is too much meta, to say the least. It's so much meta. We're live streaming a different live stream. Well, basically, you're watching a live stream that's watching another live stream of people who are watching live streams. It's crazy. It's so much, but that's only if you guys want that to happen. I haven't really done live in a while. The last live I think I did was like during Sonic Mania all those years ago. And that was when the third channel was supposed to be a live channel. But anyways, that's going to be the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like the video so I know you guys enjoy. Comment down below what do you guys think. I mean, honestly, I enjoy these kind of retro reviews, like taking a look back of FNAF, of how it all came together. Yes, it's technically, MatPat, spewing about long about, and, seeing MatPat going crazy. We're basically seeing the road of insanity for him. But it's pretty fun going back to when, FNAF was starting to become more complicated to the point that it's becoming frustrating. And boy, oh boy, when we get to the books and when we get to the sister location, oh boy, we are doomed. And I can't wait for it. Also, make sure you like the video so I know you guys enjoy it, and comment down below. Make sure you leave your suggestions. This is a Five Nights at Freddy's month, guys, so if you guys want me to react to the Walton Files, or anything related to FNAF, we could. Heck, bring me some FNAF VHS. We could do that too. And subscribe. We're trying to upload daily. This is Juan Gamer 54 signing off.